guys want me to go ahead and order anything?
8:57 on the ticket, and you've got the Musers from Oxnard, California, and we've got friends joining us here right by the practice field. It's Bob, Dan, and Norm on our first round
Compound.
table. Yeah,
All right. It's not supposed to go around
yeah.
Hey now.
Hour.
Well, happy training camp to everybody.
Are you in the Cowboys back pocket with that Cowboys
I'm
jacket
all about
you're
the
wearing?
Cowboys this year. Let's go, Cowboys. All about them. It's going to be their year.
Get your cowboy jacket
breakthrough.
on, don't you?
Did you get that
Yep.
free, George?
I did
As
back in the
opposed
day.
to
You should take that jacket off. You should go jacket
Don't
off
even-
right
we
now,
don't
right
even-
here in the tent.
Don't even make it a minute.
What?
I'm gonna keep my jacket-
Compound!
I'm going to keep my jacket on, thank you. So we have Bob and Dan together.
Yes. Feuding.
They're
Again,
like,
this long-time team that was together.
let's recreate the best mix that's ever been on the ticket. Bob, Dan, and Norm.
Okay, yeah.
Is that the most volatile mix?
Yes.
You never knew what was going
which
to
one
happen.
was that?
Yeah. Okay, Norm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just every day.
Oh, the
Norm.
schedule for
The
human
mix,
beings.
Yeah.
the mix between.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
all right, Norm, calm down.
Bob refused to answer this question
I didn't know
last
the
night, Dan.
answer.
So I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
We're into August. This is the first week of August. Are we fast approaching the actual anniversary of Moron Dog? Do you know the actual date of the anniversary?
Yeah, remember he came up on his computer, didn't it?
I don't remember. I don't know. No.
I
You
thought we
don't?
were talking to
It's
you.
obviously in.
What was that
in
that
August.
just happened a couple weeks ago where we were
Could
talking
be July.
to
I
him?
could have missed it.
Well, we
and-
just said
Could've
it's
been
coming
late
up because
July.
we knew it was training camp, I think.
No, but I swore we were talking about something, and he goes, I just looked down, and it was whatever we were.
That
we were
was
talking to
the
him
first
on the
day of bad radio. Remember
That's
when
right.
we accidentally got them on together on the
Right.
anniversary?
Yes.
Yeah.
and it was the anniversary.
Have you guys ever seen
Wasn't that
two
incredible?
humans more obsessed with a clip of audio than these two guys with Moron Dog?
Obsessed. Have you ever seen two guys more impressed with
Yes,
with just genius?
we love art.
Yes.
You know, you guys should not do the show you do. You should
Okay,
do.
Norm, this is for more off-air talk.
You should do the show you do
What?
between segments, as Gordon and George go after each other about Lord knows what.
That pretty much happens on the air, too.
So, Gordon, you like George's jacket?
Yeah, I do. I like
Pretty
it.
sharp, isn't it?
It was
Where'd
free.
you buy that?
Navy blue. Cowboys Pro Shop. On my way out
I
yesterday.
don't know about that.
Paid $700 on your way out here
Yeah.
in the Midway.
Yeah. So, Norm, this is your what training camp? 50th?
This is the 50th anniversary of my first camp.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
How many has Mary been to?
about 10 now,
Okay.
Way to go,
10 or
Dan.
11.
Yeah, way to go, Dan.
Oh, what?
So that was 1970 what, your first one?
1972, late July of 72, because Cowboys opened camp back then in mid-July. And by late July, they were having what now would cause the union to go crazy. They were having 2 padded practices a day for 4 weeks.
Full hitting.
Full hitting,
Two-a-days.
full on. And
Where? Was it
Thousand Oaks.
California? Okay.
Yeah. And Tom Landry's famous conditioning run, twice a week, the team had to run a 5-mile course in the hills around Thousand Oaks.
So your first camp was Dwayne Thomas trade?
Dwayne Thomas trade. It was also, you know, when you're young, we've all had this. We're not young anymore, okay?
Well, I
Way
don't
to
know.
go,
I
Norm.
feel
No,
I'm
you're
feeling
not
pretty
young
young.
Way to go.
anymore. You wander into some things you don't realize how awesome they are.
Yeah.
That you get a chance to do or see or meet people. And that camp had Roger Staubach, Mel Renfro, Bob Lilly, Cliff Harris, Rayfield Wright,
Bob Hayes.
Bob Hayes.
Um,
Did I mention Mel Renfro?
No.
Yes.
You didn't mention Roger
And then, of
Staubach
course,
yet.
Yes, he did.
Landry Schramm Brandt.
Yeah.
In all,
Vern Lundquist.
Vern Lundquist. In all, there were
Mel
10
Renfro.
future NFL Hall of Famers
Wow.
at that camp.
Dang. As defending Super Bowl champs, right?
Yep.
71-72 season was, yeah.
And Dwayne Thomas was just
So his last game with the Cowboys was Super Bowl VI?
I
Really?
do believe
Yeah.
so, yeah.
When he said evidently
Wow.
in the postgame.
yeah.
And again. Yep.
Boy, thinking back to those old, 2-a-day practice sessions when we started covering the Cowboys. George went to Thousand Oaks a year or two, but my first camp was 1990 in Austin. It is amazing to compare the workload back then to what they go through today.
Yeah.
Jimmy would pretty much from the get-go have them doing 2-a-day sessions, and the practices were 3 hours long, I think,
Yeah.
in the morning.
They both
Three-
look the same.
3 hours long in the
Exactly the
afternoon,
same.
full
There's
pads.
No walkthrough or anything.
No walkthrough, full pads, lots of hitting in 98-degree heat, not this 62-degree weather out here.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they put those guys through back then.
And there was no injuries. Back then,
I mean,
everything was fine.
I don't
and we
think
just changed it.
I don't think there were any more injuries than what we had today.
I don't think so
I
either.
mean, their first padded practice yesterday, James Washington breaks his foot.
Yeah.
I mean, that may have happened during Jimmy's
J-Dub
first.
still
but-
playing?
Who?
J-Dub still playing?
That's a different James Washington.
Yeah.
Not drive-by. Not drive-by James Washington.
That would be a story, though.
But it
Imagine.
is.
He's been playing 30 years.
It's yes. Today the way
Nobody
they do it
takes
is
his job.
safer, but it just trying to think about the workload that those guys had to go through every
Oh,
day,
yeah.
what they had to do through a training camp, just unbelievable.
You know what they did back then, though? They let the mind control the body, not the body
mind
control
control
That's
the
right.
mind.
Jimmy was a master at psychology.
Joining us now is Jimmy Johnson.
I love that quote.
There's a line that has changed, obviously, in practices. And now it appears to me that when teams hit the first game of the season, they aren't as football ready as those teams were. There's just not enough hitting in camp to approximate what you're going to go through in an NFL game.
Probably not in 72. That was 6 preseason games, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dumb.
6.
And when did the
So silly.
starters get a break? Preseason game 4.
Well, back then,
Didn't they
yeah.
play the whole
I
game?
think they played a lot of it, at least
Yeah.
a half of it. Yeah.
and back then there were no roster limits at all. So the Cowboys would have 110 players at camp. And on a Tuesday morning, a bus would arrive and 7 more arrived. And that afternoon, 9 guys left.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, the guy that arrived Tuesday morning was on the bus out Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
It was crazy back then. And
What was it like?
well,
Maybe you should go back to the hotel. Norm's
asking
telling
a-
us great stories
I
about
know,
the
and I'm
70s,
asking a follow-up
and you're being a
question.
smart aleck.
I asked a follow-up question
And you're
relevant
just-
to
you're
the
showing
subject
off,
matter.
It's like the old days.
Just ruined the
showing off-
entire dinner, maybe even the whole
Showing
evening.
off Bob and Dan, just doing that thing.
don't we all appreciate now
Open
an
up for Bob.
getting to an athlete?
What's that?
Athlete.
Sure.
Just interviewing him, not just saying hello, actually getting to know an athlete. Back then, the lines with the players. Because there was only 6 press guys
Yeah.
at the whole camp.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fan. We were just talking about this on the way in. That there are cars lined up, not a ton of them, but cars are lined up for this morning's practice. And I remember, as a teenager going to training camp practices, it meant get the football sign, get pictures, like the access now to the players. You're behind a barrier. I assume somebody gets an autograph at training camp now, but it's so much different. They're so isolated.
The
that-
VIP fans do.
Well, I
yeah.
think that the players are actually instructed to. They do different parts of the team have to go sign each day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the defensive lineman will go sign one day, and then because I ran into that when I was interviewing some Cowboys, and he said, "I got to, it's my day to sign, so let me go do this, and I'll come back and
That's
do
good.
an interview with you." So yeah, I think the Cowboys are trying to make him as fan accessible as possible.
I was going to ask that. You made that pilgrimage every summer to
No,
Packers camp?
no,
or-
it was cumbersome to get up there, so I could only pull it off once or twice.
Where
but
was it? Appleton or?
It was actually Green Bay.
oh, okay.
Yeah, De Pere or whatever,
Okay,
right across.
okay.
But Yeah, we went up there a couple times. I even had a bike one time, and that's how I got a picture with Don Mikowski on my bike and Tony Mandrich on my bike. It was pretty wild. And I have amazing David Letterman hair for a 17-year-old. But then, like when I was 14, we went to Platteville and saw the Bears because I was probably having loyalist problems.
Were you really?
You
You
know, the
almost jumped
85
to the
Bears.
Bears?
No, I didn't, but I was very intrigued by seeing Walter Payton live. And
Okay.
and so I did go to a Bears camp.
Wow.
I did not cross over. I was just
You thought about it.
I was fact finding.
You thought about it. What about you, Dan? Did you
I
go to
sent a
Browns
letter
camp?
that if they don't fire Bart Starr as coach, I am jumping to the Bears.
Get rid of this clown.
No, I never went to a training camp before the Cowboys.
Did
Way
you
to
want
go,
to?
Wichita Falls.
As a kid, did you want to go to the Browns training camp, or it never crossed your mind?
See what the Pruitt brothers are up to?
It never. I don't recall ever caring about that at all.
They weren't brothers.
As we said, I think
No.
Jerry's made it a thing. I think in the last 20 years, it's totally changed with fans even getting that mentality of, I'll go to training camps. We were talking about on Saturday where they went around to all 32 teams. Not all of them, but a lot of them look just like this.
Yeah.
Corporate tents and fans getting autographs and stands for people to watch practice, and it didn't used to be that way.
Oh, no. No, the practice field at Thousand Oaks was set down just a little bit in a slight saucer effect. And the fans got to sit on the higher places around the sides. And from a security standpoint, when practice was over, people would bring their little kids, 5, 7, 8, 10 years old, and they'd all run out on the field and pick a player. Now, everybody wanted Staubach, but there were kids who said, you know what? I bet you nobody's going to ask Rod Barnes if I can carry his helmet.
Right.
And they'd run up to him and say, sir, can I carry your helmet?
Yeah, they'd carry their helmets.
Hit him on the head with it. It always looks like a dust bowl, Thousand Oaks. I
Oh.
can't picture what it looks like, but the footage didn't make it look
No.
It
terribly
wasn't
flattering.
as cool as this.
No.
But it was still like in the 80s, though. It wasn't, 105. It was,
Right.
The weather was still pretty nice.
Yeah.
Did they come out here for marketing or to beat the heat?
I think it was a heat thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's how it
Maybe
started,
both.
I think.
because it
Maybe
just
both.
feels like Tom Landry, the old style guys, would want them to be in the heat. Like that'll
Yeah.
toughen you up.
Hey, what was the Landry mile? What did you have to run that in? He would run it.
I don't
And then every
recall.
player, it was.
Landry
I
can
want
do
to
it.
say it was a
In a
sub.
suit?
Yeah.
Did he run it in a suit?
No, sub 7 minute,
Maybe.
or was
That man was in
it
great
wouldn't be a
shape.
sub 6 minute, would it? Maybe it was
No.
a sub 6 minute
I don't believe.
because they couldn't ask
I
linemen
don't
to
believe-
run that.
No
No,
way.
they couldn't ask Tody Hill to
I
run
think
that.
7 minutes is pushing it for the line.
Yeah, but it's surprisingly fast.
Yeah.
When I remember reading it, thinking, yeah, that's a little unfair to the big guys, but he made them do it, and he said, if I can do it at age whatever he was back then, 50, then you guys should be able to do it.
And all those guys were working off-season jobs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause
You
I
got
read-
in shape when you went to training camp.
Almost everybody back then had an off-season job.
I just read Tim Collishaw's book, and he was saying in it that when he was young in the off-season, or he worked at a sporting goods store, and Harvey Martin and Drew Pearson worked there
Really?
Wow.
in a sporting goods store with Collishaw.
Is that the book about Andre Agassi?
It is not. It's the book about Tim Collishaw, not Agassi. I'm reading the Agassi book.
well, back when
Are you really?
Yeah, because of Byron Jones.
back when Nolan Ryan was just starting,
What a weird
one
bit.
off season he worked at a gas station
Who?
Yep. And he
Nolan
sold AC or
and AC repairman. Yep.
repaired AC.
So
yeah.
that there were
for a
literally maybe 15 years into his career, this nice old couple sitting in Alvin, Texas, watching their grainy TV, and the husband turns to the wife and says, "Harriet, isn't that the young man who fixed our AC years back?" And it
How
was.
wild is that?
Yeah.
For the
Or
World
2
Series
months
of
ago.
fixing
You need
ACs.
about 1.5 pounds of refrigerant in there.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
By the way, I should let everybody know that I showed Dan and Blake a good time at dinner last night. I took them to one of my favorite Italian restaurants here, and they rolled out the red carpet for us, didn't they?
They really did. It was like Goodfellas walking in and to the perfect
Yeah.
table
Walk
right
through
in the
the
front.
kitchen.
We were seated immediately with
Yeah.
no wait, and we got a perfect corner table.
Yep.
Was there nobody there?
Well,
Where-
it was right
where
when
wa-
it opened.
Where was this?
Down on Seaward.
Spasso.
Did you guys
Yeah.
have a 4:15 local time dinner?
It was very
Fancy.
close, 4:30.
That's 6:30.
Dan stays on time. Speaking of which,
6:30 Dallas time. Yeah.
Gordo says we got to stay on time, so we need to line.
What?
change.
Yes, we
Yeah.
really do
Yeah.
today.
That's Bob.
I thought
That's
this is the
Dan.
power hour.
That's Norm. You guys can stick around.
I was hoping
sure.
Nolan Ryan could talk to me about my coils up in my upstairs unit.
Let's do that
could you?
next.
Okay.
Hey, tease that we'll be back in 3 minutes, but it'll really be 6.
Are you saying that I do that?
What?
You don't appreciate that, do you, George?
No, I don't appreciate it.
No, I'm just saying start to.
You're
Yeah, but
joking?
people
Is it-
might
are
hear
you
that.
joking?
Do
think
that
that's
as a
George.
bit now. Just,
No, just
it'll be
people might
funny.
hear that and think that who's this guy?
well, no,
You
I
know?
think people listening know who I am and they understand that.
Well, I think people listening know who I am too.
Well, it's your show.
It's a 9.
It is your show.
Here. We'll
Do you know who I am?
No, I don't. But I'll bid you a good day. I
We're
guess.
back in
All right,
10.
all right.
Back in 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds. We're back. Oh yeah, that's Bob Weed Eater.
Yeah, I'm gonna duck out where Corby can get on. I want him to be able.
We never got to talk about my boys in the boat idea. We'll do that on our round. Oh, yeah, okay. For the new book. Okay.
Hey, you ought to